Hello there, everybody. Wake up! It's Wednesday! Wake up Wednesday time. Yeah, it might be dark out yet, but come on. Get out of bed. Time to get busy. In fact, that's what the Apostle Paul is telling the Philippians. Hey, thanks so much for being so busy. Now get busier. Because it's an open secret, but Jesus is coming again. Yeah, that's what Paul and many of the early Christians believed, that Jesus was here and did an awesome ministry while he was here, got himself killed on the cross, but he rose again from the grave and ascended into heaven. But there's so much that didn't get done that's left up to us now to accomplish. And not only that, Paul expected Jesus to be coming back real soon. And so he really encouraged all his new converts to the faith to be vigilant, to stay awake, wake up, it's Wednesday, and to put all of their efforts toward loving one another and loving those around them, because after all, that's the name of the game. God is love. Love your neighbor as you love yourself, all that kind of good stuff. And his letters are just chock full of that kind of encouragement. And the letter that he sent here, we don't have the first couple verses, but it's the standard introduction of letters in Paul's day, where the authors are mentioned, Paul and Timothy, and there's a basic little hello, how you doing, and then this like a long prayer type of greeting in which blessings are being bestowed upon the people, and thanks being given for what they've done for the two authors. And that's what we have going on in our reading for this Sunday, Philippians 1, 3 through 11. And what's kind of interesting about this is Paul really loved these people. He loved this Philippian church, and he was forced to leave it, like he's been just about everywhere else. And why? And why does he find himself in prison writing this letter right now? Well, it's because he claimed that there's another king in town. In fact, there's another king in the world, and that king is Jesus. And as far as the Romans are concerned, there's only one king. That's our Caesar, whoever that may be at the time. And that's who you bow down to, not anybody else. But Paul just says, I'm confident that the one who began a good work among you will bring it to completion by the day of Jesus Christ. So he's really looking forward to Jesus coming back in his lifetime, in the lifetime of the people. And that always was a hope of his. Although further on in his ministry, you can see in his writings that even though that looks like it may not happen during his lifetime, he's encouraging everyone to keep up the good fight, keep up the good work that they're doing. And here, what does he say in verse 9? And this is my prayer, that your love may overflow more and more with knowledge and full insight to help you determine what is best, so that in the day of Christ you may be pure and blameless, having produced the harvest of righteousness that comes through Jesus Christ for the glory and praise of God. Isn't that a neat prayer for all of us? That's one that we should all rest assured in. What I really like about this is Paul really lifts up the people at Philippi and really pours out his heart for them, and says how he prays for them constantly. And here's the deal. Just read on a little further in Philippians. You're going to see there was trouble in this church. It wasn't all harmonious and life is good and stuff like that. No, there were some issues going on there, especially those who felt that Paul didn't know his Bible good enough. Yeah, that's right. Paul, the ultimate biblical scholar of his day, didn't know his Bible. Well, they were claiming that Paul ignored the fact that you had to be circumcised in order to be a Christian. Paul said, what? No, you don't. In fact, That's the basis of many of his other writings. But there were those who believed that you had to be. And so Paul has to deal with that later in his letter. But at the same time, he still loves all those people who say that, even though he calls them some kind of not so nice. He speaks of them in not so nice terms here and there in the letter. But anyhow, getting back to what we have for this Sunday, it's a great one to have for this Sunday in Advent, the second Sunday of Advent, because we too live in expectation. Oh, we're waiting for Christmas to get here, but we too are waiting for the second coming of Jesus. Even though that term second coming doesn't occur anywhere in the Bible, we know what it is. It's when Jesus comes back here and the fullness of his kingdom is finally realized. We're living in that in-between time right now, from when he was here to when he's coming back. And there's one other very important word that shows up in here in a couple of places, and it's the word in Greek, koinonia. And maybe you've heard that word before. We often translate it as fellowship, but a better translation of it is partnership and people who share things together. And when Paul is using it, he's using it, especially in this passage, to talk about what we do together for the sake of the kingdom. And isn't that what we're supposed to be about? Loving others for the sake of God's kingdom. Jesus led the way. We follow where he led, where he trod, and we continue that work of reconciliation, that work of forgiveness, that work of being peacekeepers and peacemakers, that work of lifting up the lowly. That is what we are all about. Not only this Advent, but all our life through, the whole year through. All right, so yeah, maybe you got that sleep in your eyes yet. Wipe it away. Okay, let's get out there. Wake up. It's Wednesday. Wake up. Jesus is coming again. God's blessings be with you.